Good evening. This time it's the evening. So it's a little different, but good evening. This is Sizzling, powered by Fit to Be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End 757 Broadcasting. Hey, y'all, I am Karen Doherty, aka Sizzle, and you can find me all over the web with Fit to Be Trained email, Fit to Be Trained Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. It's easy to find, and I think Steve even has it on the banner on here. So if you're on YouTube, you can find it easily. But we are also now on Spotify and Apple. So I'm hoping that you'll follow us, listen to us, and tell your friends. Anyway, I am looking forward to this evening. I'm feeling a little off though, because it is the evening. I'm not quite as spunky. I'm not quite myself. So I'm going to shake it off. And I'm glad that we have a guest tonight, because that always makes it exciting for me. I had such a good time. Interviewing you last week, Steve, and such a good time learning about rugby. So many things that I didn't know that it really helped me motivate to get out there. And I had people on the list that I wanted to ask, but it made me hurry up. So I've got some people even in the weeks to come. And I asked my coach from Takeover CrossFit if she would join us this evening. Her name is Emily Arnold, and I've known her for a couple years. She has been in that CrossFit gym with us since Valiant, I believe, right, Emily? You were there when it was,
I joined like right when CrossFit Takeover took over, right before we became Takeover Athletics. So yeah, I still as a Valiant.
Pre-COVID, that's the landmark in time, right?
Truly, 2019.
Yeah, it's so long ago. We have to think about what it was now at this.
That's
point.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Oh, that was hard on the fitness world, but then it was a great thing for the fitness world too, in a sense, because a lot of us, like myself, were forced to go virtual, which I'd always wanted to do before COVID. So I can do my little plug here where I do virtual fitness as well as live fitness. But my girlfriend had gone virtual right before COVID, and she is banging it out now. So if you were able to get on platforms before COVID, it is really lucrative to be online training and fun. I enjoy it, but I'm just building my business now. But it's not about me. I am here because I want to talk to like I said, that Emily is one of my coaches, and we do CrossFit over at Takeover Athletics. And I love CrossFit. Everybody knows I do. It's my hobby. I am not a CrossFit trainer by no means. And it's my place to go and have fun and learn. The Olympic weight training and Olympic lifts are truly working in body mechanics. And I'm a Pilates trainer, so I do appreciate body mechanics. But that doesn't mean I'm always good at everything. So Emily is there to help me week after week, and I appreciate you so much. So I wanted to talk about, that's why I invited you to come on. But I will let you have the floor and tell me a little bit about your journey into fitness and your current role as a CrossFit coach.
Sure. I mean, I've been some flavor of athlete my whole life. My dad had us into mountain biking really early. That's kind of his jam, bicycling. He still does mountain biking at the young man's age of 63. He's still out there racing.
Right. He's in my age group. Right on, Dad.
Yeah. I did dance for about 12 years.
Mhm.
And then I started soccer probably when I was around 6. And as every family kind of figures out, you can't do everything. And I settled into soccer, played through college, tore my ACL twice, which is such a always.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a bummer, a big bummer. But, I got to be a college athlete. That was something that I know my dad really wanted for me. That I know in high school I didn't see, and even in college I was like, I don't know that I appreciate it as much as now I do. That I did that. Even for a smaller
Absolutely.
school like I went to, I left school. I think the journey for me after school was the hardest because I went from having practice 2 hours a day every single day and then games on the weekends to nothing.
I hear that.
Wow, yeah.
I hear that. Yes.
Nothing, right? Like
Right.
no team, there's no meet, there's no structure.
Wow.
And you get that on breaks through between seasons. So it's a nice relief, but you always know in a couple weeks preseason starts back up, you can't really just ever let yourself go. But after college, I really struggled to find something that felt quite as right. I've dabbled back into like recreational soccer, but I've really learned I have a healthy fear of falling down these days.
Well, like us, ACL injuries are serious. Yeah.
Emily, let me ask you something real quick. I didn't think this would be my first question. But when I played rugby and we had to have some fancy footwork at times, like I kind of equated to dancing or even, try to act like a ballerina, trying to gently step over the ball, etc. Did dancing really translate into maybe you thinking that gave you a step up above your peers on the field?
So I definitely think it could have. My very small town. I had to play. We didn't have a girls' soccer team, so I played as a co-ed team. On a men's varsity team. That wasn't terribly uncommon, but I mean, like maybe 1 or 2 out of a whole team of boys. So it.
It speaks volumes of your skill. Sorry, I don't mean to interject, but good job.
No, I definitely think being agile that way definitely helped. But soccer, I think, and I would imagine rugby too. Like it definitely helps. There's nothing because you're just used to getting into. I was like, all right, well, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like go.
Right.
So perhaps being smaller didn't really help me very much, but I was at most of the time I had big pride on being a lot faster than most people. So
I think it definitely translates. And here's somebody that's a Pilates trainer. So I deal with a lot of dancers, and dance and Pilates and everything about it is about control from the core out and using all those internal muscles other than the superficial muscles and having that sort of control. Like even when we do a box jump, you're trying to land on the box as quiet as you can. So you have continuous control. And Michael Jordan, when he ran, granted, he wasn't a dancer, but oh boy, does he have control and smooth. And there's nothing flailing on that guy when he's moving on that court, and most athletes. So I think that your dance, and I definitely think dancers are athletes, definitely. And they appreciate it when we treat and call them that. And I think, yes, it will make you a better athlete. Absolutely. No doubt. Even Arnold.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you think about your typical teen boy that you see maybe popping into like a class or just kind of in general, they're very like a lot of the times I've seen a couple of parents that have put their kids into the training classes. Is like they just need to learn how to move in this body that they're growing into.
Right.
And I think because I did dance from such a young age, like as I was growing for a long time, that wasn't something I ever had to think about.
Right.
I can't imagine having to think about like constantly being like, I have the feeling of being out of control is pretty, I don't enjoy.
Foreign to you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be crazy.
So you finish up college and you're sitting around doing nothing.
I started running. I think just every typical person, I think soccer, I thought was like, well, I ran for 90 minutes. I can go run for 90 minutes.
Right. I guess.
My own, I guess. And I did running for years. I did probably about 7 half marathons. I did an ultra marathon.
Wow.
I've got no joy or love for running. Appreciation for everyone who does it, that does like it. Not one single time did I go, oh man, this was it. Like I had such a good time here.
Right. And you have to have the passion. It's cool that you had the ability, right? You had the ability, you had the athleticism, but you weren't into it.
You know,
right?
What's free? Running is free. So I actually didn't start CrossFit until I met my husband, Jesse.
Okay.
So I don't know why my screen just went black, but
you went black on us.
I was like,
dark screen.
Okay, there we go. Let me just adjust the window really quick. I met my husband Jesse, and he's been doing CrossFit probably since like in and out since he was in college. So I started going to the gym with him as this is my 60 minutes that at least we're in the same place at the same time.
Right. I remember that. That's so
the gym no matter what.
fantastic.
So I'll go with him. And then I made the switch to Valiant, and he shortly followed.
Nice. This is why I love this. This is so fantastic. Like I had no idea about all those marathons that you did, and this is just such a fun time. So transitioning, I'm going to skip that transitioning to becoming a CrossFit coach, but so you went to CrossFit and you loved it, obviously, because you became a coach.
Yeah, CrossFit's really been the closest thing I've felt to like feeling like, I'm playing against people, but I'm also with people.
Right. You're not team group.
The big community piece of it, like the accountability pieces of it, which is, I think, the most important thing when you're trying to find your fit for what you like is finding people to do it with, to force you to feel like, oh, we missed you. Where were you? Oh, nice to see you. Oh, like that feeling of being missed is gonna be what ties you into that community, no matter what it is. If it's running, if it's CrossFit, if it's Pilates, if it's yoga,
right?
If it's swimming, I don't know. But they're all there. It's just, I think, finding the thing you like the best, that sparks all the joy for you.
That is such a key word, and I love the word joy because it's a small word with so much meaning to it. And you're right. I mean, you can find, I remember trying Zumba just because some of my clients who were dancers, I deal with the dance world a lot being a Pilates trainer, and I had to be, when that came out, I had to, be able to tell them what it was. So I had to go try it, and it's not my thing at all. But stuff like that, because of community, you can see the joy in the room, and joy is what is going to keep you coming back. And for me and you, Emily, and even Steve, CrossFit brought me the joy. I loved it. I loved, like you said, the community. And so you loved it so much, you decided, okay, I'm going to school and I'm going to be a coach, and a good coach you are, mind you. So do you feel like that? Obviously being a soccer athlete is great. It's easy to cross over, but how do you like becoming a coach? You were always an athlete. Now you're on the coach's side. Do you like that?
I won't speak for every soccer player. I'm sure it's not true, but a lot of times, I went from refereeing, volunteered coaching little league teams when I was high school, a little in college. I mean, I've done coaching,
Sounds like it.
in at least like a volunteer aspect for a really long time. And then coaching CrossFit, for me, it's certainly not my main, it's not my main 9 to 5 by any means. That's not how I make money. It's my fun, like spending money. I think I've initially signed up because my Jesse was deployed, and I was like, all right, what can I do? Here's something to look forward to on a weekend in the future. So I've got something to constantly, I like CrossFit. The level 1 class that they do is really structured well. And it's really going over hammering in the foundations of CrossFit. So not necessarily teaching you to coach there, but it's giving you a lot of the for lack of a better word, a lot of the Kool-Aid in that weekend, so that you can really, this is the foundations, this is the methodology, these are all the principles that we're based in. Now go out and do whatever you want with it. Because for most gyms, you just need that L1 to coach if you want to. I didn't start coaching at Takeover. I started down in Mississippi after we had moved away for a little while. And then there just was a space open here when I came back. So I did Takeover's intern program, which I have to say is 10 out of 10. Not all gyms are doing that. It's such a huge thing to me to know that it doesn't matter which class you go to. Personalities, love them or hate them, like you get the same class at Takeover, get plus or minus like a couple nuances, like no matter where you go, because we've all done their internship, we've shadowed, we've gone through the big points that they want to make sure we're covering. It's, this is the whiteboard, this is the warm up, this is the, I know I have not felt that way. And ideally,
it sounds to me like you really were impressed with their standards of
I
how.
know Jess and I constantly are, well, it's not Takeover. Well, because a lot of times, especially if a gym, when you're visiting, they find out you're a coach, they find out you've been doing it for a long time. If you just look kind of fit, a lot of times people just stop coaching you, and that's never been something Takeover has been like, oh, you can leave them alone, they're good to go. Like, oh, you. Like, it's like, no, everybody's here. That's part, like, not only for coaches, but that's the Takeover athletes as well. Like, you come because you don't come to class to be left alone.
And the coaches do the classes as well.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, almost all of us do the classes if we can fit it, as long as it fits in the schedule, or we're doing the workout at some point. I know I cannot get there in the mornings. But if I coach in the afternoons, I try to sneak in a little early and get it done before class, just so, because I want to do it too.
Yeah. And then you can feel like, what's happening in that workout. That's really cool. I've known, I didn't know that their education was really good, but I did know because I take their classes, and you're right. The coaches are fantastic. The form is hammered.
It's kind of seamless. Like, I think that's like, certainly they don't hide that we're doing that, because you'll see like, oh, intern whoever is in here, or oh, this person's shadowing. We certainly don't hide that we're doing that, but like, I think a good program, a good coaching staff and instructional like syllabus type thing, it does eventually start to feel seamless. Like, my first couple of ones were rough, but so was everybody's. Gosh, Pat Bowler and Ed Smith remind me every day, I'm in there, how different I was when I first started.
Why? What do you mean? Do you mean that what? Tell me. So you're more relaxed, you mean, or you are more intense?
More relaxed. And then that 6 a.m. group is rowdy. So
I know, I love that group.
Oh no, they're gonna pick on me, I'm gonna pick on them back. Like, Come on now.
I think that 6 a.m. group really likes you, Emily, and that's why they pick on you. That is a group that
absolutely
is like a bunch of brothers.
Absolutely. No, I just, quiet. And it's just, I think they say you have to be your biggest self when you're in there. Like you're not going to get, nobody's going to trust the really quiet, like to themselves, like in the corner coach. Like you have to.
I don't think we have any of those at Takeover, do we?
I don't think. I mean, gosh, not that I know of.
We don't.
You just have learning to be that bigger, trusting yourself. I think there's a lot of. I know for a lot at the beginning, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm certainly not the fittest person in here. Like
So you sounds like you learned confidence.
Well, yeah. It's definitely a testament. It's like, no, I know what I'm talking about. And I don't have to be able to do, not every great coach is the greatest athlete either. That's not always, it's kind of reminding yourself like there's value in every little piece that you add.
I got a 2-part question. One,
okay.
Emily, I hear your sniffle. So are allergies killing you right now?
Oh my gosh. I've been praying for this rain.
Okay. So 2, I am literally dying from this stuff. In my workout the other day, and if you're in anywhere around the Mid-Atlantic states or in the South, that last week when it got to the mid-80s, yeah. I mean, it literally looked like snow on the ground. That's how much pollen was out in the air.
Absolutely.
And on the ground. And you can kind of hear it in my voice right now as I start to kind of lose it. But we worked out outside, and that was a death blow to my lungs, I felt like.
Oh, yeah.
Are you coaches aware? Like, I know in the past, I've had to go up to a coach and say, hey, the allergies are killing me. I don't know if you get allergies or not. And usually if they don't, they really have no idea how bad it is actually killing the person who does have it.
Yeah.
Are you wary of people with allergies and like how hard that might be for them to work out in this kind of stuff? Especially if it's like bad, like I get them right now.
I mean, I get allergies too. Yeah. And I mean, that's just a piece of like learning that group coach. Learning how to coach a group is to be aware of like how everybody's looking. It's like if someone's someone is unwell and appears unwell, it's probably time to step in as gracefully and politely as you can, because you see that not only with people with allergies, there's always that for our pregnant expecting moms,
right.
It's just like, oh, I gotta make sure, like, just keep an eyeball on them. That's where knowing what that stimulus is for each workout is so important. Like, it's important to be like, this shouldn't be that hard right now, or you need to take it. So being able to know where, because I mean, yeah, if you're sprinting,
we just kind of toned it back around once we realized like we were having issues.
We have such a good group that is so self-aware. So sorry.
I actually find that at our gym is very conscious of any kind of weather, moisture, allergies.
We got some self-scalers, and I couldn't be more thankful for it.
Right.
Very, very rarely do I really have to be like, come on, like,
yeah, no, I
won't make me shame you into this. I don't want to, because I feel very grateful that at our gym we have people that care more about how the workout should go versus how hard they can.
Oh, absolutely.
Or how hard they could try to go.
Yeah, it's a very forgiving place. Trust me. I've been there. I've been in CrossFit for many years, and I'm aging, and I've been well taken care of, if I had injuries.
Of hitting that, we'll meet you where you're at.
Exactly. When I had my knee injury all last year, everybody, all the coaches, including yourself, were always willing to give me a trade out, something I could do. Now I'm back. I can do box jumps now. But like just the other day when we were together on a Saturday, you got me when my heels were coming up, like always, what were we doing? Cleans. I know I was popping up off the ground, cleans and then overhead, clean and jerks, maybe. I don't know, but over something overhead my whole feet. But anyway, you coached me, and always I get trade outs. I've always felt well taken care of as a 58-year-old aging woman that is athletic, but I get my trade outs when I need it, and I get pushed when I need it too, because sometimes I'll tend to sandbag and the coach will be like, you could probably do a little more than that. But there is a little bit of that of me sandbagging and coming out of an injury too. You're afraid to push yourself, but that you can do it. I feel like I'm kind of back up to par and I'm feeling really good. And I back to the allergy thing. I think takeover takes a well into consideration. Even now we're indoors a lot more too. But let's move on to how has fitness influenced and improved your life, both physically and mentally? Just you kind of touched it, how you got out of college and you were kind of like, oh boy, this is a big change. And I think that's very common, even for kids that are getting out of college that aren't athletes, just the change of pace. And, it's great that you got into a gym situation, but how else has, fitness influenced, improved your life, both physically and mentally?
Gosh. I know.
Is it kind of all you know?
Yeah, gosh, I was never really growing up. I mean,
because that's okay if it's just all you know, because it is kind of me, all I know.
Slave driver. He wasn't. It was just like, no, you have to do something. You cannot sit down. You cannot just stay inside and you have to do something. You have to pick something.
That's great.
So it just was never an option not to have something going on.
How do you feel about some of the fitness or diet trends that are out right now? And I'm a Pilates trainer, so we've got the big reformer classes now, like Club Pilates and all that stuff. That's kind of a happy accident kind of trend.
Yeah.
But in my world, that's, because the education levels are different. But how do you feel about some of the diets and the nutrition? Maybe let me think, because in CrossFit, we did a lot of, God, I can't even think of it now.
Macros.
Well, we all do macros, yeah. But remember back in the day, I can't even believe it. Keto comes to mind, but that's not what was.
Is it paleo?
Yes, paleo. Thanks, Emily. Yes, remember everybody was doing paleo, which is kind of a good way of life, even if you think about it. I kind of like the paleo. I realize it was trendy,
if you
but it's a
can
good
do it
one.
and you enjoy it, it's amazing.
Right, like Mediterranean. Is there something that you really like, or you really suggest to people listening that you favor?
That's the dog. Is the third guest on the show. Yeah.
She doesn't have to play with.
Can you see it? See, I can't see.
No.
I can tell. She's squeaking.
I love dogs.
On the hockey show, Nephew Dave's dog does a guest appearance every so often.
Dogs.
So I gotta.
Yes, your dog can be on if it wants to. I'd have my dog here if I could. Yes, dogs are welcome. I thought I heard a squeaky toy.
Oh, you do. She's finding them right now.
That's great. Yes, she's welcome.
Yeah, Emily. I mean, do you have some kind of set diet, or do you just kind of wing it, knowing what you need, and kind of just go day by day, or you meal prep? And what are you doing there?
I don't meal prep. I want to. I really. I know. I don't meal prep. Shame on me. I do a lot of meal planning, as in I will think of what I want to eat for the week. And, you know, I think trends are just that. They're trends. And it's just so much simpler to just be like, I just got to eat X amount of protein.
And stick to the basics. Yep.
Stick to the basics. And the days that I drink enough water, I shoot for like 80 ounces of water a day. I try to get my weight in protein every day. And I find that more or less, as long as I'm sticking to the outsides of the grocery store, generally, carbs and fats, that those other macros find their place. I've done macro counting. I use a service called Stronger You, not to plug them, but like
Right.
You can plug anybody you want.
I've had a ton of success working with a couple of different coaches, depending on what I was trying to do or what I was looking for, checking in sometimes weekly, sometimes I just switched to bi-weekly because I was just taking up too much time to constantly have to check in. But
Right.
I know I have found a balance of like, I don't feel like I need to weigh absolutely every single thing I eat, but I think practicing that and seeing what you're doing and that like seeing what you're eating, a lot of people would be really blown away how disproportionate their macros probably are.
Interesting. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how doing it for a week really like
I bet you I fall into that category.
I don't like to do meal prep, so I don't do it. There are people I know that do it a week at a time. I don't. I usually wake up in the morning and these last couple of months, instead of like hitting straight to Instagram or whatever, I pull out my Fitness Pal tracker type thing. I'm like, all right, what am I in the mood to eat today? Like, what do I want to eat today? What do I got to get out of the fridge today?
Wow, cool.
And it's not perfect. And you have to I think you have to be able to give yourself a little grace to have fun still, because food is delicious and you should enjoy it. It's just learning how to like, all right, if you can just be 85% dedicated, you'll see like crazy results. 85%, that's
I agree.
a handful of meals every week that don't have to be perfect.
I agree. And I think if you're moving enough, you can be even a little more graceful to yourself. So
I like that day. I like that day-to-day kind of planning thing. What am I in the mood for today? What can I want?
Yeah.
It doesn't bog you down for a week. It doesn't put unrealistic expectations upon yourself. You can knock things out as they come. And even on that note, Emily, what I'll tend to do is I'll put the dry erase marker on the old fridge, and I'll put Monday through Sunday up there, and I'll give it 3 spots plus a snack. And if I can get just more check boxes than X's, X being what I consider not a good meal, and if I just get a lot more checks with X's around that 85%, then I think that's about as good as you can do, right?
Yeah, totally. Because I think a lot of right now, a lot of younger people, older people, I think there's such a trend of under eating actually when they're trying to.
Yes, you can do the clapping right now.
Like if you undereat for 3 days in a row, of course your body is starving. You're not going to perform the way you want in anything. You're going to be lethargic.
It's one of my funnest things to bust my age group
You'll
on.
Sleep better if you're eating enough.
And my age group does not. Most of the women that I know, and then and I'm training too, that changes. That's the first thing I dive into is their diet and their nutrition. And you mentioned MyFitnessPal. I use that, the free one, and they resist and they fight me, and every time it's that they're not eating enough. And the guys are doing it too. I just don't train as many men, but the women are definitely doing it. And it gets me really upset because they don't lose weight if they're on a weight loss plan. They don't gain muscle if they're trying to gain muscle. And they really struggle with understanding, because my generation comes from, starvation.
Yeah, right.
It's ridiculous.
That funny old Vogue page is like
Mhm.
breakfast, 2 eggs and coffee, lunch, a glass of wine, and a tuna fish. Or, and I was like,
Somebody posted the Vogue one, and she
lot
gets
of-
to drink wine all day long. I was like, I do approve of that. I think that's pretty wonderful. My girlfriend posted it, and she loves the wine, so she was. It was really cute. I was like, that is adorable. I think you got to have coffee, some wine, then you got to have an egg and some wine. It's pretty.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
Helen Gurley Brown, or she was Cosmo, or was it the Vogue lady who said it was really legit.
I mean, that's something, that's for sure.
And we did a lot of little speed pills. We did all kinds of crazy, silly things to lose weight back in the day. That was fun. We talked about that with Sherry when I had Sherry on.
I feel like every time I see a commercial, it's an Ozempic commercial. Right now, do you notice that at all? Yeah, I mean, there is really a push for these pills nowadays. Even when you thought there was those fad type of diets and whatever weight loss pills, then it's only gotten worse from what I've seen.
I mean, the Ozempic is definitely.
But I mean, and they've got Ozempic is an amazing medication when prescribed to the correct people in the right way.
Exactly.
I've got no problem with anyone taking Ozempic. It's not going to replace making healthy shifts.
I know, it makes me sad.
And you can't
when
take
people
it forever. The side effects are they're kind of crazy when you really look at it. And I mean, I think even people that I know that take it for that are diabetics, I mean, those side effects they just have to live like that.
When that came out, I was so nervous of what was going to happen. And sure enough,
I think it's a great, like I said, I went for the right people. It's great. It's a great solution. But it's not going to change your life.
Right. The quick fix. Well, the people that are doing it for quick fix, and it's all over Hollywood, and Hollywood does things and everybody thinks that they should do it too. And it's such a shame because you're right. It takes away from the whole, lifestyle change. As soon as you're done taking Ozempic, what are you going to do? But that's trends. We got into the trend. That is the trend right now. And it's a shame. And there'll be a backlash. And then hopefully people, will come to our side where you change your lifestyle, eat right, exercise, and really find yourself in true health and wellness. And what's the word? Joy. Find yourself in joy. This is a fun question for me to ask. What are your goals as a coach, or actually not as a coach, just as Emily, for your personal fitness journey in the next few years? Do you have any things that are on the, like, I'm getting older, so I'm kind of like, what am I going to do? Am I going to do anything? But I know I might not. That might be my goal, to not do anything anymore. But I always like to have some sort of thing to look forward to. Are you like that? Do you do that?
The goal is always to try to beat Jessie in a workout. But no,
that's what I'm looking for. I wanted that honest, honest answer. Thank you.
I do know that to do that, I have to scale it. Like, I will never be able to, there are very few workouts and movements that I could beat Jessie. Well, maybe not now. He's been on the ship for quite a while, not really working out. So I might be right now. But I mean, I've had a couple injuries the last year and a half. I mean, the goal is just to be able to get in there with you guys. Because it's my social time now. When we move to California, the goal will just be I work from home.
Right.
And especially when COVID hit, like, the gym became where I was like, I have to get out of the house. I have to talk to a person.
That's where it helped you mentally.
So
it was that. Yeah.
The gym is my go-to community. People for an hour, I can at least get a little bit of peopling in.
And good peopling too. Like I always joke when the hour's over, I'm like, I don't want to go to reality. And I have a great job. I mean, I love my job and I love my clients but it is fun to go to that gym and just kind of get your workout in. Cause as coaches, we're always, or as trainers or instructors, we're always focusing on the clients.
Mhm.
So it's nice to get in there and be me, you know, and maybe not be so great at stuff. Because I liked how you said, you talked earlier about how maybe I'm not the fittest person in the room. You are very, very fit, first of all, but I get what you're saying. And not all coaches are great at everything. Like I am a fantastic Pilates trainer. I'll say it.
Yeah.
I know that I am. If you saw me do Pilates, you would say, well, I can say this. You would say, Sizzle, you're not really, you'd see it in the CrossFit gym. You'll notice things. And maybe you guys don't notice, but I used to have a peer that he used to always joke and go, you're a Pilates trainer. But like so many of the core things I'm not very good at. I teach Pilates all day long, and I don't get on the reformer as much as I should. I'm doing much, much better now. I'm back on it again because I need to feel what my clients are doing. I've done it for so long that I kind of do, but I need to really be doing it. But what I was doing for a long time was getting done work and running to the CrossFit gym or using the CrossFit gym for my social, like you just said. So, and I like how you touched on that. Like sometimes you're not great sometimes you're a great coach, but you're not like, like you should hear me moaning and groaning in a Pilates class or when I'm a student. It's kind of, I don't like trainers to know that I'm a Pilates trainer. I usually tell them after the class so we can bust out laughing together of how terrible I truly was. So I liked that you touched on that because that is truth. I've been training for many, many, many years, and I'm not good at everything. That's for sure.
Emily, at least you have some good company there with your dog.
Yeah.
While your husband's away, and obviously that's tough having him gone and deployed. Yeah. I mean, that's stating the obvious. And did you mention you guys are moving to California?
Yeah, late in the fall, we'll be making the move out to California for Jesse's next gig. So
that'll be a nice journey for you. You have this fitness under your belt.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the question is I mean, that takes a little bit of the pressure off knowing that you can find another gym environment fairly easily, right?
It's huge. It's huge knowing that, like you don't love everybody. Like that's ridiculous to say, like, I'm going to go to any gym and those are my best friends.
Right.
Those are people for an hour that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. And there's that trauma bond of, oh my God, that was so hard.
I love that. It's a trauma bond. It is. I love it.
That's a good word. I never even heard that.
So, and it's, and we've got some people, so it doesn't really count. I mean, not the perfect word choicing, but it's really important to me to have a community that's not military affiliated, that I can go to and like, I don't want to talk about the Navy. I don't want to talk about jet planes. I don't want to talk about, any of it. I want to just talk. I want to be, never grew up that way. So it's something that is only been the last like 8 years of my life. I talk a lot. I'm a bad military spouse. I don't know what a lot of acronyms mean. I tune out a lot when Jesse's talking about jet specific stuff. And it's just not me. I'm a proud military spouse. But like, that's not, I see myself as other things first and foremost. And it
sounds to me like you find freedom in the gym.
Yeah, it's big for me just to be able to be like, that's not here.
Right. Exactly. Right. Right. And we were talking about that a couple weeks back, how, when you're in there, we're not really talking about what we do for a living. There's so many people that don't even know that I'm a Pilates trainer, because none of us are talking about work.
Yeah.
Sometimes once in a while, the kids will come up once in a while, but we're not talking about our families. We're not talking about work. It's not that we don't love both, but we are not dealing with that in there. Isn't that? And I think that's why we find it as such a happy place, because you're not dealing with everything that consumes most of your hours the rest of the day. It is truly a self-care hour.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it is for you too. And it doesn't matter who we are, where we are. That is a place of, I don't know, just relaxation in an odd way, where we form trauma bonds. That's so wonderful. I love that. I love that. I want to start winding it down, and I want to talk about, I want to just look over my notes and make sure I got everything. Is there any advice for listeners that might want to start their own fitness journey, that maybe, and I know that it's just been a part of your life, and that's fantastic, but I also know that you are a coach and you are able to help someone that's probably just starting out. Do you have anything that you want to it's specific? Is it the food? Is it exercise? What is it that you like to kind of work with somebody starting?
Don't wait to start. Don't think you have to have this prerequisite list of things that you can do before you start any of it. That's, I think, the thing I hear the most when it comes up. It's like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not fit enough yet. I can't do. And I was like, no, don't wait. Don't wait.
Don't wait. I love it.
Whatever you're doing, don't wait, because unless you're doing like the advanced yoga classes, which wait for those. Go to the gentle flow, like pose. Let the
right. Start in the beginner realm, but
first, or cycling. Wait for cycling. Wait for the beginner cycling class. But
right, cycling.
That is the hardest thing I've ever done, is a cycle class.
I know.
Just don't wait. Take a jump. Find a buddy to go with you. So many gyms all year round. It's not just in January. It's, constantly, like, come try us for a week. Come try and yes, and go more than once. I say it for CrossFit all the time. People come in. Today's a great day to be here. So happy you're here. Or please come back. They're not all like this. I say that all the time to people who drop in. Because yes, there are days where I look at the whiteboard and I'm like, I cannot say how badly I don't want to do anything today.
Right.
That's CrossFit. It's nice and well-rounded. But you have to come back. You have to give it a shot. You have to find those people, and find that group of that niche, a buddy, an accountability person. And then be that, and then you have to be that for somebody else. You have to be the person that says, hey, I hope to see you next time.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
Could be solved if people just really got out and went and did something.
I think people just realized how fast it actually goes by.
Yeah.
Like, I just showed up and now I'm walking out and I just worked out.
And I'm always like, I'm not ready yet.
How the feeling is.
Yeah.
I think if people just realized how you don't have to spend 2 hours in the gym.
No.
60 minutes in and out, plus or minus.
And that gets your stretching, that gets everything else in as well.
Yeah. It really does. Just, I like how you said that, and we'll end with that. And that it's just do it, like Nike says, and don't wait. You want to just get moving, even if it's a walk around the block. I just did a post on walking on Instagram. Like, people just underestimate how much walking does. Just get up and take
Yeah,
a walk.
honestly, the first thing you can do is wake up in the morning, shake off those cobwebs, and just walk around the block a couple of times. That's the best way you can kind of get moving for your day.
I know.
That's what I'm really trying to do.
Especially now that the weather is
the bulk of my season.
Except for the allergies.
Yeah, actually, let me ask you that real quick, Emily, before
Sure.
we let you go. Would you rather work out in 95 degrees and humid or 25 degrees and sub-freezing?
25 sub every
Me
every
too.
day.
I'm with you. Yeah, man.
I
Absolutely.
hate this.
Yep.
I'm soaking up these chilly days while I can.
Yep, I'm with you, girl.
I do not like when it's above 60. When I am exercising.
I perform better. Yeah, I perform better in the cold.
I have
if I'm
saved
dressed
workouts
for
we've
it.
done in like midsummer. I've screenshot them and like thrown them in a calendar for like a December day, and like I'm doing this again when it's 30 degrees colder, and it's guaranteed I do a better job.
Absolutely, I perform better.
The
too.
31 Heroes workout comes to mind, as that seemingly is always a 90-degree humid.
Yeah.
My
burning.
winter Murphs are so much better.
I know, right? I know. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time here. I really, really appreciate it. I've enjoyed listening to your answers.
Yeah, no problem.
And I'll hope you'll come again.
Sure thing.
Thanks, Emily. Steve,
Thanks,
thank
Emily.
you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Tuning out.